From the dawn of civilization to the stars, every day writes history.
This day in history, the Apollo 1 tragedy, 1967. On a cold afternoon in Cape Kennedy, Florida, January 27, 1967, the future of America's space program sat quietly on Launch Pad 34. The spacecraft was named Apollo 1, the first crewed mission of the Apollo program, designed to send humans to the moon before the decade ended. Inside the capsule were 3 astronauts: Gus Grissom, a veteran of the Mercury and Gemini programs; Ed White, the first American to walk in space; and Roger Chaffee, a talented rookie astronaut preparing for his first flight. They were among the best the United States had to offer, chosen by NASA to lead humanity's next great leap. The test that day was routine. It was called a plugs-out test, simulating launch conditions while the spacecraft remained on the ground. The rocket carried no fuel. There was no countdown pressure. By all accounts, it should have been safe. But something was wrong. The capsule's atmosphere was filled with pure oxygen, pressurized higher than normal. Inside, miles of wiring ran beneath the astronauts' seats. Velcro strips, used to keep objects from floating in zero gravity, lined the cabin. In a pure oxygen environment, even small materials could burn explosively. At 6:31 p.m., a spark, its exact source still debated, ignited a fire. Within seconds, flames raced through the capsule. "Fire!" one of the astronauts shouted. Then came the chilling words, "We've got a fire in the cockpit." The blaze intensified instantly. In pure oxygen, fire does not creep, it erupts. Temperatures soared above 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Toxic smoke filled the cabin. The astronauts struggled to escape, but the hatch was designed to open inward, held shut by pressure inside the capsule. It could not be opened quickly. On the ground, technicians tried desperately to reach them. They heard screams. They saw smoke pouring out of the spacecraft. But by the time the hatch was forced open, more than 5 minutes later, it was too late. All 3 astronauts were dead. America was stunned. The nation had grown used to spaceflight triumphs, rockets rising, heroes smiling, flags waving. But Apollo 1 shattered the illusion that the race to the moon was safe or glamorous. It revealed how political pressure, tight deadlines, and overconfidence had allowed deadly design flaws to go unchallenged. Investigations followed. Congress demanded answers. NASA turned inward, admitting painful truths. The spacecraft was redesigned from the ground up. The pure oxygen atmosphere was replaced with a safer mix. Flammable materials were removed. Wiring was insulated. Most importantly, a new outward opening hatch was installed, one that could be opened in seconds. The program was delayed. Critics said the moon landing might never happen. But the sacrifice of Grissom, White, and Chaffee was not forgotten. Their deaths transformed NASA's culture. Safety became non-negotiable. Engineers were empowered to speak up. Astronauts were given greater authority in spacecraft design. The lesson was clear. Exploration demands courage, but also humility. Just over 2 years later, in July 1969, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon. They did not go alone. They carried with them the legacy of Apollo 1, the mission that never flew, but changed everything. The tragedy reminded the world that progress is often paid for dearly, and that every giant leap is built upon the sacrifices of those who never returned. Today, the names Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee remain etched in history, not as victims of failure, but as pioneers whose loss made future success possible.
Please support us by liking, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. Only on This Day in History, World Events.